So the journey that God had for me with quitting the job and doing all the things was I had to take a social media fast. Before you judge, go ahead and like and subscribe, and then I'll tell you why. I had to do a social media fast because I started realizing that it was getting too much of my attention. Let me explain something to you about social medias. It is low-key, it creeps up on you. You don't realize how often you're on there. You don't realize how much you're picking up your phone throughout the day. You don't realize how much of time is being consumed in looking at other things that doesn't really add value to your life. Now, let me explain something to you. It is nothing wrong with using it for a good reason. It's nothing wrong with using it within reason. Because certain social media platforms I use just to keep in contact with my family. Shouts out to Facebook, okay? Other things I use because I'm not a TV watcher per se. I'm just not one to sit on the couch and go, oh, let me just watch. It's not in me. So social media literally is a form of entertainment for me. So I go for the hee-hees and the giggles. But it's when you start wondering who's dating who and why such and such had a baby by such and such. Oh, and she pregnant. And oh, she's still. You get so wrapped up in that. You like, and then low key, it'll bring up a certain amount of hatred and like, and even if you're not that kind of grandbaby, now you have a disdain on Karens and the police and da-da. And listen, for good reason, but I am a person that I don't want to be fed or led by anything but the Holy Spirit. I'm not even trying to be churchy, but I am. Okay? I was starting to realize that my day and the temperament thereof was not only kind of subjected on what happened, but more so what I saw. Let me go on social media and somebody passed and now I'm like, oh my gosh, this is terrible. Like, you understand? It's like, and I don't even know these people like that, but like, let me have control of my own emotions. Let me see that once again, something was done injusticeably. Let me go ahead and see. It's like, okay, so I need to eliminate it. So I did some of that. I eliminated who I was following, what pages I was following, all that. But then you got the other grandbabies that want to go ahead and be news reporters. Like, oh, did you hear? And they send you stuff and you like. But let me tell you the real that was really getting to me. I don't like the weight of social media. I don't like that if you don't say happy birthday to somebody, that is not real. I don't like that if you didn't keep up with all the things that's happening in timelines. Yo, I found myself before I was taking a break, I was like, but if I don't say happy birthday to the people who, like, it was almost feeling like I felt obligated to like stay on and see whose birthday was every single day because I didn't want to do the belated birthdays. And it's like, I'm sorry, I didn't want to miss people's milestones if they posted it. I didn't want to be insensitive and see. I went on social media after a break one time and a girl that I knew, her father passed. And I was like, ooh, I don't want people thinking I'm cold-hearted in these streets. But it started to feel like, yo, I also don't want that responsibility. Like, that's heavy to have to wear. And I felt like I needed to scale back on that, to kind of condense some of that in order to truly hear what God was wanting to do with me and from my life and from my path. It was like, listen, if I have to be silent and to kind of, be detached from some of the things that are happening in people's lives that I care about, but I can't be glued to my screen when I'm supposed to be hearing my next coordinates, my next steps, so I can be obedient to the path that He has for my life. I want to walk on my purpose, on purpose, but I can't do that if I'm pulled in several different directions that takes me away from hearing. Now, some people can go ahead and they can, finagle through all the different social media platforms and all the above. But for me, it was starting to feel like a weight. I just want to disconnect to a point that it doesn't mean that I'm a bad person or I'm a mean person or, oh, you missed. I don't want to do anything like that. And I even got to the place where I reversed it for me. I'm no longer going to put the pressure on somebody that, because not saying happy birthday could be real. I'll tell you right now, I'm one of the grandbabies. Miss a birthday, you miss my life. It's just how I feel. June 28th, get it tatted. You understand? And that's how I felt. But it's like, I don't even want to put that pressure on nobody no more. Like if they say happy birthday and it's August, you should have saved it. But you know what? All the same, at least you said it. But I got to the point that I was like, if I only remember because it's on Facebook's calendar, but not mine, are we really close? So like we can kind of scale back and go, But I started to see on this path of me quitting corporate and walking in my purpose on purpose that one of the things that I had to scale back from was social media. And then it got kind of tricky because then God had me launch the t-shirt line, Created to Multiply. And I'm like, well, how am I supposed to go ahead and, you see what I'm saying, market? I got to be on there some kind of way. He said, no, I'm not saying not be on there. But the way that you are on there, like, ma'am, you know entirely too much about the Kardashians. And I didn't even want to keep up with them. It's just that Tristan kept doing what he was doing. I'm like, Chloe, what's good? Like, and after a while, you like, I don't understand. You starting to take that personally. Like, she getting on my nerves. She don't know you. And so I had to make a clear, concise decision. If it does not impede, impact, or infect my life, then I truly don't want to know it just to know it. What am I doing with this information? What am I doing? How does it benefit? Does it help someone else? Because I'll take that information in a heartbeat. What happened? Oh, that person overcame, and so that's why I need to know your backstory because, okay, great. And so I can use that as an example when someone else is feeling weary, that I can say, hey, don't give up because, and then I can point them to someone, even if celebrity. Cool, I can do that. But just to be pointing to you, and that does nothing, is pointless to me. I don't see the point in that. And I had to be curated in this way that it was like, okay, if I only have the capacity but for so much information and I can only be pulled to a certain degree, I want to make sure that social media is not the biggest anchor into why my boat is not sailing at the pace that I want it to go. I cannot have it where the world is weighing me down and I don't feel like I made my impact on the world. Who's doing it? Not me, not her, not she. Do you understand? It started getting to a place that honestly I started unfollowing people that just know. And you'll feel it within yourself. Like, this doesn't feel right. Like, I can't keep consuming all that. Like, there's a difference. I remember being asked, you don't want to be updated on what's going on? No, I don't want to be continuously infused with negativity involuntarily. I don't want to do it. That was the reason why when I was younger, I didn't watch the news ever. Now you don't have to watch the news because it's on every social media platform. It's like, oh my goodness. You turn on your computer and they give you all the news outlets right away. I had to change my default page. Like, okay, can we just make it where it's a blank page? I don't want to see all that. You got to really control what tries to feed you. Because that, what you're digesting, not just eating, what you're seeing, what you're hearing, what you are being just pushed in your face all the time, that is the byproduct of how you move through that day. And I can't afford that. I can't afford to be heavy by something that doesn't lift me. Period, the point blank. So for me, on this particular path and journey that God has for me, one of the things that I had to do was eliminate social media. And let me tell you something. The clarity that I have felt, ridiculous. It's almost like somebody came in the room, opened up the curtain, lifted up the window, and I was like, where's that breeze? It's like there was a fresh, like, I'm able to see stuff differently. Then I started following pages that were like-minded to what I wanted to do, where I want to go. Motivational speakers, like just things that are like, it was feeding me different. See, the problem is that social media for most is an open buffet and we just picking and eating and we're not even asking, what's this? And as we're eating it, we're like, and we're getting reactions and not realizing it doesn't go with you. So what I did was I cleared the entire buffet and I said, I'm going to be cautious of having too much of that and too much of that and too much of that, because I see that it makes me feel different. And even if anybody else can consume it all day long, I know that for me, I can't. And so I almost want to challenge you. And what I did was actually, it was a 30-day fast that turned into a 60-day fast that I got a kind of little overzealous. I was like, I want to do 6 months. But I said I wanted to be realistic because I still have a t-shirt line to go ahead and I have a merch line to go ahead and market. You see what I'm saying? So I was like, I don't want to be a hypocrite, because what she going to do is keep it 100 with, if no one else, myself. If I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it wholeheartedly, and I'm going to do it in excellence, so I'm not going to do it at all. With me, it's black, it's white, it's no in between, period. So I was like, okay, if I still have to market, then what I will say is I don't follow gossip blogs. I don't do it. I don't want to voluntarily know who's doing what. I don't want to be a part of someone's breakup. I don't want to be, oh, they looked good together. Because I'm taking that stuff to heart like I know them, and it's not that serious. I don't want to do that. And maybe some people look at it as fluff, but again, I feel like when something has your attention, it's competing with what God's trying to tell you to do or ask you to do or lead you to do. And if I can clear up anything just to hear him clearly, I will do it. And for me, it was social media. So like Rose Hawk, like maybe you need to do it too. Try it for 2 weeks. And if you see for 2 weeks, like, yo, I kind of feel a little different, can't really put my finger on it, do another 2 weeks. That way you will have 30 days that you've done it. And just see. I mean, you got literally 12 months. Do 1 month, 2 weeks at a time. 1 month of no social media, and tell me if you don't see a difference in your life. Like, I literally want you to comment and tell me, like, yo, I did 2 weeks. I ain't really, okay, but that other 2 weeks I did, like, I want you to be able to tell me that, okay? All right, listen, do the like and the subscribe and all the YouTube things. And I do a video like this every week. Don't miss it, okay? But I'm going to go ahead and let me go. We'll talk later. All right, later.